Do artists really have to starve to be true to their craft? Must the business side of creativity drain all inspiration? No, it does not. 5 minutes on creative entrepreneurship can help you master the business side of creativity, reap greater rewards from your talent, and enjoy your work to the fullest.
I'm so glad trouble don't last always.
Running a business, especially a creative business, is hard work. Whether you're a freelance solopreneur or the owner of a small creative firm, the business side of creativity always demands a significant amount of your time and attention. One of the most common business problems I've encountered as I've consulted creative business owners flows out from a basic misallocation of their time, based on wrong assumptions about the amount of overhead time needed to run a business. This week, I'll share some specific breakdowns for your overhead time, so you can reevaluate your overall business plan and plug holes that may be slowly sinking your ship. I'm Eric Holter, and I've been a serial creative entrepreneur for over 3 decades. After graduating from Rhode Island School of Design in 1991, I could cut and print beautiful wood engravings. But I had no idea how to run a business. They just don't teach enough about business in art school. In the creative service business, time really is money. Therefore, the time pressures you feel in running your business can almost always be tracked back to corresponding money issues. Because of other complications in the creative service business model, such as the unearned revenue problem I talked about in episode 36, it can be difficult for creatives to connect the dots between profitability problems and time problems. But they are in fact connected. If you're not operating profitably, you will suffer under mounting time pressures. Since time and money are so connected, in order to solve your time issues, you'll have to address your money problems. And the first place to start is to more realistically account for all of the overhead time that goes into running a creative service business. The very first principle to keep in mind is your maximum billable capture rate. If you track all the time you spend running your business, including overhead time, you'll begin to see that your average maximum percentage of billable hours per week tops out around 60%. When I've done time analysis for clients, it's quite often much lower than that. One of the main causes of low profits and their corresponding time pressures is a failure to take this 60% maximum into consideration when calculating your rates and fees. 1,000 painful downstream consequences are the result of failing to take this benchmark into account. Flipping this around, the remaining 40% of your time will be taken up by other business-related activities. In order to ensure that you use that 40% optimally, let's break down all these other activities. For reference, I'll be using a 45-hour workweek as a basis. One of your overhead roles is taking care of your finances. In the case of managing your books and billings, you'll want to set aside about 5% or roughly 2 hours every week. And I highly recommend that you do your finances every week, without fail, religiously. Another 5% should be allocated to managing time itself, including tracking, revising, and analyzing your hours, and planning your overall calendar and schedule. Another 5% will be taken up with general office administration, some of which should be devoted to professional development. Now, never underestimate how much communications time goes into running a business. And I'm not talking about project communications. That's all billable and should be counted in that 60% productivity benchmark. But on top of that, you should assume another 5% of your overall time will be taken up with general business emails, correspondence, and perhaps the occasional cat video. That leaves us with 20%, and this is your sales and marketing time. What you do with this time is so important that I'm going to pick this subject back up next week and analyze your marketing time in more detail. Of course, most weeks won't actually play out exactly according to these percentages, but if you neglect these guidelines, or if certain roles are omitted, serious problems will follow. You might not feel them right away, but they will be waiting for you down the road. But if you plan realistically and give attention to these business necessities, your creative practice will thrive. Until next week, Don't let the business of creativity overwhelm your creative business.
5 Minutes on Creative Entrepreneurship is a podcast by Eric Holter, mentor to creative entrepreneurs. You can find more content and resources at erichholter.com. His book, Blazing the Freelance Trail, is available on Amazon in print, Kindle, and audio. If this podcast is helpful to you, be sure to share it with your colleagues, and ratings and reviews are always appreciated.
I'm so glad.